Welcome to another edition of Bowie TV's Sports Spotlight. During this hour, we're bringing you highlights from some of our shows focused on all things sports in the DMV. Please be sure to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. First up on Pitt Sports Zone, hear from Woodland Hills High School football head coach Brian Torrant for a conversation on this upcoming season and more. Then on Legacy Maker Sports, Washington football legend Brian Mitchell chats all things life, his past career in the NFL, and more. On Ravens Verdict, check out the press conferences from the Ravens' preseason Week 1 win over the Philadelphia Eagles. Lastly, on Washington Commanders Update, tune into the sights, sounds, and insights on the Commanders' preseason Week 1 win over the Miami Dolphins from Candy Waller on All Burgundy and Gold Everything. Don't go anywhere, and as always, enjoy this week's episode of Bowie TV's Sports Spotlight.
Welcome back to another edition of Pitt Sports Zone. It's going down. You already know who it is. I'm your host, Pitts. And I have a special guest with me tonight. I have the Woodland Hills High School head coach, Brian Torrant. And for those of you that do not know, Woodland Hills is, of course, in my hometown, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Thanks for having me on the show, TP. I was just excited to be here, talk some Western PA football, specifically Woodland Hills, and everything that's going on right now. It's a great time to be a Wolverine, and I'm just happy to be on the show and share some thoughts and have a conversation, man.
Yeah. So before we get into the show, I just want to kind of pivot a little bit and talk about the why this show is important to me. First, Coach, you are the first first high school head football coach that I've had on my show, and it strategically was done that way, and it's not to shade any other high schools, but more importantly because the reason why I started this whole platform is being from Western Pennsylvania, being from Wilkinsburg, PA. I understood that when I was growing up, I didn't really get the gist of what HBCUs were. I wasn't, educated on it. I didn't know that they were an available option for education outside of the Pitts, the Robert Moores, the Duquesnes, et cetera, right? So for me, and because we don't have any HBCUs in Pittsburgh, my goal was to really try to bring the players into the HBCU fold. So, there are a lot of times where I share a lot of high school football highlights from Pittsburgh.
Gotcha.
But now is the first time that I really get to entrench the both. I really get to bring both of them together and merge it. Yeah. So now, not only are the players getting to know the coaches, but the coaches are getting to know the coaches that's coaching the players coming out of Western PA.
It's starting to grow a little bit. I like you said, I'm a 94 grad. I hate to age myself like that, but when we were coming out of Wilkinsburg, I may have heard of Grambling State, and that was only because of the great Eddie Robinson. You know what I mean? Virginia Union, I remember my brother was recruited lightly from them. But honestly, man, like you said, man, it was just a sprinkle of experience or a sprinkle of notoriety when it came to HBCUs. I don't know why it's like that, man, but I'm hoping that, things change, especially with the NCAA portal and everything. And again, later on in the show, we could talk about all that. But I expect the HBCUs to benefit a little bit from the recruiting and, the whatnots and what's happening with the portal.
Absolutely. And so we're going to go ahead and jump in. But before we do, we're going to break you off with some icebreakers. If you can, Coach, what is your favorite meal?
My favorite meal is spaghetti.
Spaghetti?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What is your favorite vacation spot or a travel destination spot that you would like to go to?
Believe it or not, my favorite destination spot is Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We go a ton of time. We got a little property down there. And then we also go to Puerto Rico every once in a while. So I love it out there as well. So, it makes the heart feel good out there, the sun and everything.
Absolutely.
Love Puerto Rico.
Lastly, who is your favorite NFL team?
Oh, man. Without question, man. The greatest franchise ever, man. The black and gold, man. It's Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Three head coach. I got to tell why.
We don't got to flex on them. We don't got to flex on them, because I'm in Ravens territory and they already a little jealous, so I'm going to be light on them for right now.
Yeah, man, they got something coming this year, man.
Little do they know.
Yes.
So, Coach, if you can, man, just take us in a little bit about yourself. You went to Wilkinsburg. When you started coaching, what made you want to get into coaching?
Oh man. Again, I graduated Wilkinsburg High School in '94. Went to California University of PA, a state school, played college football there. And then right at the end of my college football career, Mike Kolakowski, my head coach there, offered me a chance to finish my degree and coach as a student coach, not a grad assistant coach. And I'll let you know just in that I was behind the ball and behind in progress in my life. Wound up getting the degree, wound up getting married, and then decided to go back into coaching. You know what I mean? So I got back into coaching in about 2004, and at Wilkinsburg High School again. You know
Shout
what I
out
mean?
to them. Hey, listen, before we're gonna put a pin there.
Yeah.
Wilkinsburg High, man. When I tell you, I was brokenhearted when my mom wouldn't let me go to Wilkinsburg, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great place, man. And when you think we're about to have a Tiger alumni reunion here this Saturday, and just while you're gone, man, I'll continue to talk about that we're having a Tiger reunion this Saturday at Graham Field. And I tell you what, man, we're going to have everybody back from every decade, whether you played in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, or whatever. And we're inviting everybody out to come back and experience that good Wilkinsburg High School pride. There'll be refreshments, all types of stuff, all thrown by your boy, Coach Simon. So come on back, you know what I mean? Chill with each other, and let's talk football and everything. But now that you're back, Terrence, we can talk more about Wilkinsburg High. What was you saying?
I like it because you kept it going, man.
I know how to play team ball, man. Pass me the rock. I'll hold on.
Hey, that's a true Wilkinsburgian. Let me just start it there. You know what I'm saying? Listen. Now, I was just going to say, man, Wilkinsburg is near and dear to me for a lot of reasons. Granted, the things that we were growing up in tough times, so sports was our outlet, as you can attest to. And Wilkinsburg just immediately, it instilled so much in me. It gave me my love for football,
right?
And the people that I played with. But more importantly, man, when I tell you, I came back and I'm still working on it, but I did a documentary, really, from Wilkinsburg to Graham, from Turner to Graham. Yeah. And just talk about that journey and why it was so important for me in my young adolescent years. But I think that when it come to Wilkinsburg, man, we had all the ballers. I'm gonna stand on it. I'm biased with it, and it's okay. But it's really an important place for me, and I'm always going to pay homage.
I talk to everybody. I meet. My drive, my intensity. You know what I mean? Setting goals. It's all because of Wilkinsburg, because we felt like we had one arm tied behind our back. Yeah. You know what I mean? And still had to get things done in a proper manner. So, big ups to Wilkinsburg and everything it taught all of us. You know what I mean? You look around and everybody's successful and everybody's gritty. You know what I mean? So big up to Wilkinsburg High School, man.
And shout out to my guy, Antonio, Next Level Fitness. Listen, I'm going to do a shameless plug right here. For all you athletes that's rehabbing, you got a knick-knack injury, you got a serious injury.
Yeah.
Get with my guy because he will get you right quicker than your expectations. He's going to make you put that work in. He's a grinder, and he's from Wilkinsburg.
Hey, T, let me chime in off of that. We brought Next Level Fitness in my days when we was coaching the Red team. He'll tell you about it. We won a state championship that year. Had the very fewest injuries that we had in our 5-year tenure there. He was there every Saturday after games, going through the workouts, small things, man, where you put placement, everything, stretching. Great guy, man. Y'all get with him, man, and individual athletes as well.
Yeah, shout out to my guy, Antonio, man. Listen, so let's jump right into it, man. What does it mean to be a Woodland Hills football player?
Well, one, it means you follow a heavy legacy, heavy legacy. Everything we do, whether it's me as the head coach, whether it's the assistants as a coaching staff, or the players, all the way down to the players, we follow the footsteps of greatness. Whether it's on the player level, on the assistant coaches level. I mean, you hear more stories about assistant coaches Then you hear about the great Coach Novak, who has over 300 wins. You know what I mean? 6 Whitfield titles, and left it retired with 21 straight, playoff appearances. So heavy legacy, man. If you're a Woodland Hills football player, you follow greatness, man. And 17 guys went to the NFL. There's big shoes to fill.
Yeah, and speaking of Coach Novak, definitely shout out to him. He was my uncle's coach at Steel Valley. With my uncle Gerald Ford, Baby Jr. is what they call him. He was a dog for Steel Valley, and that's how I got to know who he was early on. But definitely a great coach.
Yeah, Coach comes back sometimes too, and he talks to us. You know what I mean? He still visits us, man. He's a great guy, man. Yeah. Can't say enough about Coach Novak.
What are the biggest things you want your players to learn from that go beyond football?
Well, that's the cornerstone of our program. We always say our football takes care of itself. But what doesn't take care of itself is our behavior, our conduct in public, our conduct at home, our conduct in school. You know what I mean? Our language that we use, in public, when it's the right time to act a fool and knowing when it's the right time to be classy. There's always time. So, we're always talking about real life situations. We're trying to raise good husbands, good fathers, good uncles. And, sometimes it's tough, man. We got to run them. We got to discipline them to get that point, slammed home. But the boys have really responded to the change of the program, the change of the culture, the change of the message. And at the end of the day, man, we love where we're going right now. Again, 16 out of 16 of our seniors that went to college this year on football scholarships. We're just very, very proud of where we're at right now and looking forward to this season.
And shout out to Coach Bernard Clark Jr. Something you said. He wrote a book about how to become better husbands, fathers, and sons, right? And he talks about growing the men beyond the field. And it's so dope to hear you say that, and hear how many other coaches actually still champion that progress and road for success.
Because, you see things as you're coaching them. I come in with an idea. I want to coach football. I want to win championships. But then I see things. I see young men not just small things like not taking care of their lockers properly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not throwing trash. Trash is winding up on the floor. This is our home. Small messages like that. Leave things better than you found them. Things like that, man. So, you can go on and on about it. But, academics and all that stuff is really prevalent in our program. And in fact, again, I love to brag on it. We had a team GPA of 3.2 after football season last year. So, we're proud, man. Very, very happy about where we're at.
Shout out to my cousin, Rasheen Hill, strapping in. Shane said, look at that. My kinfolk.
That's my guy right there. We go way back. What's up, Shane?
What areas of the team have you seen the most growth from thus far?
Conduct, self-control. I got a wild bunch. Our kids are wild, man. They love to have fun. And, they're a rambunctious bunch. That's probably a better word to use. But I'll tell you what, they've learned in the 4 years of us working with them. Again, when it's time, when we're in our locker room, they play their music loud. They're allowed to play the cuss words. But when we're outside, we got to have, music that's censored. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's just common sense, trying to have better morals, trying to be a better person, trying to make another person's day better. And again, the boys have responded. We used to dog each other. There was a lot of self negative talk, and you shouldn't have dropped that. And now, you might run back to the huddle and they're like, man, catch the next one. You know what I'm saying? So you see some small changes where it's not so confrontational and it's more a brotherly type of thing now.
Yeah, they're doing that continuity amongst each other. Being able to, big up the next brother, because we're only as good as the person next to us. So if we want to dog the person next to us, then our sights can't be too high if we don't have that camaraderie amongst each other. Right,
man. And we got to support each other. And it's funny when I watch the kids, interact with each other. That's kind of like their way, their thing. We come from our culture, and this generation has this thing where they bad talk each other. It ain't ripping. It's a little tougher than that. And it's like, man, come on, man. Guy walk in having a bad day. You jumped on him right there, and you just emotionally crushed him for the day because now he's going to be angry all day. So again, small things, and you can't coach that up all the time. But we just try to tell our boys, treat each other properly, treat each other with respect, and it's going a long way with us.
I don't know what it is, Coach B. I don't know how many interviews I've done, how many shows I've done, but my mama ain't never commented on none of them. And today, because she hears from Wilkinsburg and it's about the bird, she all in.
That's right. Steel City all day. Mom's representing.
Shout out to Mom Dukes.
What's up, Mom?
That, Mama. You know, Coach, so I hear you actually were alluding to my next question, right? Because I was going to ask you, how do you, in this generation, right? Because as you stated, these players are different than when we grew up, right? Our coaches talk to us crazy, reckless, but we responded. We knew where it was coming from. You know, it's a different generation of kids where, not saying you can't, but it's a lot more different because you literally have to establish a one-on-one special personality bond with them. So how do you build those relationships with your players while still demanding accountability?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here, episode 211 of One-on-One, of course, airing on the amazing Bowie television and, of course, on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Today with me, ladies and gentlemen, I have a man that really doesn't need an introduction, especially for our fans here on Bowie television, for all of the Washington Commanders, Washington Redskins, Washington football team fans out there. They know this man. He's on the airways every day. With our man JP Finlay, and that's my man Brian Mitchell. B Mitch, how you doing today, brother?
I'm good. I'm doing good, Darryl. Man, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Look at another great day. Excited. We get closer and closer to the NFL season, and that's going to be super busy time for us.
Yeah.
So very excited about the season coming along, but we got to get into all that fun stuff to figure out where this team is going to land and how will they do as we get into the season. But before we do all that, we got to learn about B Mitch. And before we get into all that, I got to start off with my favorite segment. It's called the check-in. All right, B Mitch, we got to check in on you, man. You, your family, your friends. How is life right now for Brian Mitchell?
Life is fun, man. I'm a 57-year-old who feel like I'm about 30 years old. I got 2 grandkids. I just spent time with them over the last 2 weekends and hung out with them for Father's Day. Went back down this weekend for 4th of July. It's special. You grow up, you want to try to build a family, have a legacy, and I'm starting to see that happen. My son, who's 37, has a little girl, Cece, and then my daughter, has Bryce. So their families are growing. Both of them married with their families growing, and for me, bro, like Donnie Simpson always told me that grandfather love, man, it's something special. And I thought he was telling me a lie, but you know what? The brother was right. It's amazing how much you can love a little person, and then you start looking at them and they have a lot of the similarities to me. CC is stubborn, just like her grandfather. Bryce is an outgoing dude who believes in his own. Like his mom just told him something today. I say no. He decides he's gonna get it done. So 2-year-olds, man, that are just out there doing it. But I have 3 daughters and a son. I'm very, very thrilled with them, the things they're doing and the way they're building their lives. So for me, I'm the fan right now, sitting back and watching the things they're doing, making me very happy.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, and they're both 2. So you had both kids pregnant at the same time. Oh man, you struck out here. You struck magic here. You were able to have both of them at the same time. That's all. And a boy and a girl.
Yes. So it's
wow.
we were actually on vacation in Napa, and my daughter-in-law, she knew she was pregnant. My daughter, I guess she didn't know. She found out like a week after we left Napa. So she had a few glasses of wine, so I don't know.
Oh no.
Bryce is 2 years and going on 4 months, and CC 2 years going on 8 months. And
wow.
But both of them, man, they're special, man. Just I never knew I could be so happy. I'm a happy kid. I'm a happy dude anyway. But these little people here, they take me to a different level, So Grandpa gets up every morning, that little room over here, and work out. to make sure I could be around and see them try and grow.
That's awesome. I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, there's a part of me that can't wait for that. Like my kids are just getting into college. I told the girls, I said, look, get through college. You
Yeah.
know, anytime after college, for a personal level, for me, I'm ready. But I want y'all to get through college, get yourselves established. But if anything happens after that, because life does be lifing from time to time.
Oh, it does. It does.
I'll be ready then. But don't do it now. But then don't do it now. Get through college and then we'll talk then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's all I want. That's all I want. Now, B Mitch, I want to know, when you were young, Brian, back in the day, 7, 8, 9 years old, where did your passion for sports come from? What made you fall in love with sports?
Well, I can tell you this. As far as I can remember, I've always was around my dad. You know, I wanted to be like him. Everybody in my community would talk about my dad. My dad was a military guy, but he was the guy that everybody knew. You know, like you might hear about people saying I cook. You know, I like to be around. I like to be the life of the party. My dad was exactly that. He boxed in the military as well. He was a chef, and he was like the person who I've always wanted to be like. And I can remember being 6 years old, and I said, "Man, I want to be a football player." He said, "You sure about that?" And I was like, "Yes." And he woke me up the next weekend, that Saturday, at about 6 in the morning, took me to the levee, had me running up and down the levee. And he said, "When you do this, son, on your own, I'm gonna know you're serious." And at 10 years old, I was a guy who left out the house early Saturday morning, and my mom thought something had happened to me, had my daddy looking for me, and he found me on the levee doing what he wanted me to do. And you know, he basically he was the type of guy who said, "Look, if you decide to do something, remember, we finish it to the end." And he was my biggest supporter, he and my mom. And that just made me want to be successful. And my aunt, who passed away my rookie season, she used to always say, "Boy, you're good at this sport, man. And what you do brings the family together. Don't ever stop doing that." And, you know, it's fast forward from when I first got into it. But when you notice that you could do something so great to make your family come together, you know, we have family where sometimes people don't get along. When I was performing, everybody came together, and that to me was the biggest thing in the world. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to be a catalyst to bring my family together, and that's why I got so much into it, you know. And then, you know, I was told early, your parents may have to pay for you to go to school. We weren't rich, so I wanted to go to school, and I wanted to be able to choose where I wanted to go. So I went to school in engineering and a football scholarship. So, you know, it was a catalyst for me to get where I wanted to go, but it brought my family together. And like you'll hear me talk a lot about family. I'm more family oriented than anything else in the world.
And that's a beautiful way to be. I think for me, to piggyback off, I know growing up was tough for me, and I remember telling myself, like, man, family's got to come first, man.
Yes.
My mom and dad had their challenges, but I was like, I know for a fact I refuse to be the same way. I want my kids and my wife to really just embrace. I wanted my family to have the family life, all of the picket. Well, man, ain't no picket fences in this yard, but all the things that you've seen on, you like that type of lifestyle where you're going on trips together, you're doing things together, you're having playing game night, all that stuff, and it was very important to me. And it's just good to see people be able to have that opportunity, and like you said, bring people together.
Yeah, totally, man. Listen, it's the biggest thing in the world, bro. Where I grew up in a family. I'm the youngest of 7 kids. And, I know we make excuses for every kid growing up, but I always tell people about my life growing up. At about 10 years old, 11 years old, I knew which brothers and sisters I was going to follow, because if you pay attention, so Linda and Frida, they're the oldest. Linda's the oldest, then Frida. And then we had Blanche, Michael, and Tyrone, and then Daryl, then me. Well, when my mom and dad discussed Linda and Frida, they always were smiling. When they discussed Blanche, Michael, and Tyrone, they had a little skepticism in that conversation. And then Daryl, and then when Daryl would pop up, they were happy about what he was doing. So as a young man, and this is where I get so pissed off with society, We hear people, you cover them. They're 26, 27 in the NFL, in the NBA, making millions, and we always go, well, he's a kid. BS.
Nah.
You know, I was 10, 11 years old, and I realized that my mom and dad smile when they talk about these.
Right.
So I'm going to try and do what they're doing, not what the others were doing. And listen, I love my brothers to death. You know, we lost Michael in 1990, but I love my brothers to death. But I also knew the path they had taken wasn't the one my mom and dad was happy about. You know, Daryl was the guy, engineer, well, smart as hell at the time. He's an engineer now, went to the Marines and stuff like that. But he was the guy who really I followed in football. Probably as strong as you can get. I'm bigger than him, but he was strong as an ox. But he was smart as hell, and everybody liked him. And he just something about him that I liked even more than my brother Blanche. If you look at Denzel Washington in Training Day, that look, that is my brother. They look exactly alike. So the women love him, you know. So you had to fight it a little bit, but I found Daryl. This is where I am at.
That's awesome. That's just a little bit of fighting here and there, just to, you know, let them know, hey, I'm here too. I ain't trying to hear all that. Yeah. Now, Big Mitch, I kind of want to know, you know, how you got from. I want you to take us on a journey from where you were when you were at Southwest Louisiana up until now, where you're blessing the airways, you know, every day here with our man JP Finlay. Can you kind of take us on that journey from college up until now?
You know what? It's a strange one because I went to school. In high school, I had received a chemical engineering scholarship from it was University of Southwestern Louisiana, and along that time, my high school coach Don Jones got hired as a receiver coach at the University of Southwestern Louisiana. I was visiting Arkansas. You know, I had visits I was going to go to the Notre Dame and Oklahoma, but they said that we redshirt every freshman, and I'm like, to hell with you. I had a 27 on the ACT. I had a 3.8 grade point average. I'm not redshirting unless I have to. You know, let me compete first. Tulane University, all this stuff. So I said, I'm gonna go to this school. They already showed interest in me as a student, so I'm gonna go because my dad always discussed student athlete. He said student is first for a reason. So I went there because Coach Jones, I knew he was gonna take care of me. And then David Culley, who ended up he was like the head coach for the Houston Texans for a minute. David Culley, who was my quarterback coach. And, you know, it's like this brother who had played quarterback at Vanderbilt is my coach. And he was I kind of looked at him as like this mentor. So I get to college and, you know, they weren't playing me. And I was pissed. And I got into an argument with a coach. And I say all this stuff to let people know why I'm like I am and why I'm where I'm at. And I told this coach I was going to basically kick his what?
Yeah.
Because he told me to shut up. And I ain't believing nobody. I don't care, black, white, whatever. Don't tell me shut up. We're going to have a problem with that.
Right.
But my dad always stressed respect authority. So I called my dad. This is the difference between my dad and these damn AAU parents today. I say, Dad, I'm transferring. I'm leaving this school. He like, what did you do, baby boy? Because my dad always called me baby boy. I'm the youngest. I say, well, I can't tell you all that. He said, no. Tell me exactly what you told somebody. And when he finally made me say it, my dad told me, I'm going to call this coach and we're going to decide what we're going to do with you. And my dad basically made me sit on the sideline with fully dressed without any pads because he knew if I had on pads, I was going to end up on that football field.
Right.
And made me sit there and take all the plays down, you know, and it was the worst moment. Even David Culley told the head coach, if he plays, I quit. And I couldn't understand this for the life of me. Why these people? My dad's not taking my side. This coach who I love to death is now telling him he'll lose his job if I play. But what it was, they had to show me at that moment, this is not about just you. He told me, he said, if you're going to be a leader, you got to be a leader every day. All right?
Right.
So from that moment, I noticed a change in me. You know, so it was a drastic change where I stopped going around listening to the people that are just hyping you up. And I started listening to the people who I felt was trying to get me somewhere. And, my head coach decided he wanted me to be on his coach's show like every week. You're the quarterback, fast forward, I end up becoming the starter. He said, you're the quarterback. Everybody looks up to you. I want you on this show to discuss stuff. So I began to like that. I was shy. I wouldn't talk to people at first, but he made me do it. And you wouldn't believe that it was for the life of you that I was shy at one point. So I get to the NFL, and I would always hear, like I said, non-football people saying what they would, what they wouldn't do. And I would be cursing my TV out, throwing stuff at the TV. And I can remember in 1991, my second year, I started looking for an opportunity to have something to say, to really just combat the people in the media, to go at them.
Hello everyone, Darrell Owens, Bowie Television, here from M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland, where we saw the Baltimore Ravens have their first preseason game of the year tonight as they took on the Philadelphia Eagles. It was a one-sided affair for the majority of this contest. We saw the Baltimore Ravens get a 24-7 victory over Philadelphia. Now, Philadelphia did not score that touchdown until later in the game. It was like under 5 minutes left in the contest when they scored that touchdown. Now, for Baltimore, we saw a lot of good things tonight from the Baltimore Ravens, especially at the quarterback position. The Ravens quarterback room had a pretty good night tonight. Snoop Huntley, along with Joe Fagnano, came in and had really good performances for this Ravens team. Joe Fagnano, 22 for 28, 224 yards, a touchdown, and a pick that happened in the end zone. But besides that, a great day for Fagnano. Tyler Huntley, 6 for 7, 76 yards. He did get sacked twice, but he had a quarterback rating of 111. But altogether, we saw the Ravens quarterback room go 30 for 37 for 298 yards. I had a chance to speak with Tyler Huntley after the game, and this is how he felt about his performance. Tyler, you weren't out there a long time tonight, but what did you make of the reps that you got out there today?
Oh, it was good, just getting some live action, after, just going through camp. We're not getting touched too much. And it was just good to just be out there with the guys and just playing football.
The Baltimore Ravens receiving room had a pretty solid day. Elijah Surratt had 6 catches for 66 yards and a long of 18. Jacoby Lane had 3 receptions for 38 yards and that first touchdown of his NFL career. Dez Walker had 3 receptions for 31 yards on the day. So the young guns really doing a really good job for the Baltimore Ravens. Then there's tight end Matt Hibner. Hibner had 5 receptions for 61 yards. He was targeted early and often in this Declan Doyle offense. But it was the defense that really held down the fort. They did a really good job out there today of holding this Eagles team to pretty much no point scored up until that last couple of minutes of the contest. Speaking about the defense, I spoke to camp standout Keon Martin. He talked about his performance from the game, and he talked about what he learned from the game to make himself better. What did you take away from your performance tonight? Was there anything that you feel like you could have, that you can build on from here that you want to see from the next game next week?
Yeah, had a couple tackles that came to me. I feel like I just made the plays that came to me, when my number was called, when Coach Jesse, when he made the call on defense, and I knew it was an opportunity for me to make the play, I just made the play. Whenever I get a chance to make a play, that's the whole thing about the NFL. When your number called, you got to make the play. So I feel like I made the plays today that came to me today.
That's it, everybody, here from M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. The Baltimore Ravens get a 24-7 victory over the Philadelphia Eagles. What's next for the Ravens? Well, the Ravens have a practice on Monday. They'll have a day off tomorrow, practice on Monday. They'll hit the road Tuesday to get ready for 2 joint practices with the Minnesota Vikings on Wednesday and Thursday. And then on Saturday, they'll have the game against the Vikings at 1 p.m. So make sure you check out our social media pages to get all the updates you need here on Bowie Television. I'm Darrell Owens, Bowie Television. We'll see you all next time.
All right, it was a great first opportunity for our guys. Really happy, proud of the way that we played. That was our main focus, was a play style. I thought we had that on both sides of the ball and on special teams, physicality, line of scrimmage dominant. And so great to see a ton of young players get an opportunity. Especially our young playmakers on offense. I thought all those guys really showed some good stuff. And it'll be a good initial, step for them to continue to build on. But of course, like how the game went. So with that, open up for questions.
Jesse, I mean, we've seen Jacoby, shine in training camp. We saw him tonight score a touchdown. What has maybe impressed you the most about him, since he's gotten here?
He honestly, like his demeanor, and he doesn't lack confidence, but he's not like he's pretty humble as well. And so he works really hard. He kind of knows when to be serious and when he can be, himself, which is just a little more, out there sometimes. But I love his personality. I want him to shine and, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what got you here. It's been working, and really happy with how he's done so far.
Is the thing that pleases you most is for his first game and with so many young players playing, you only had 3 penalties, and it seemed like the operation, the communication pre-snap on both sides was really...
Yeah, we want to own the pre-snap operation really in all 3 phases. Huge point of emphasis for just how we operate. And so especially for the first game with a bunch of guys, definitely pleased with that. Even the couple we had, it's good learning experiences, things to learn from. But overall, man, really, really tough, disciplined performance from our guys, which we can build on.
On the other side of the ball, does Keon Martin just sort of make it impossible to overlook him, I guess? Does he sort of keeps forcing his way in, right? Yeah,
that's what you want guys to do. And, this is a guy that plays the game a certain way, plays with the chip on his shoulder, and he's got a knack for making plays. And, he's it's like keep doing it, and that's all he does is keep doing it. He makes plays, practice, games, his numbers called, and, you love to see that from guys.
The fact that you just coached a game in the NFL for the first time as a head coach, what does that mean to you? Do you have any chance to feel what that means right now, or is it?
I don't know yet. Maybe later tonight, just sitting around, but it was a great experience. I want to give a ton of credit to our coaching staff. I thought they had the guys really ready to play. I thought Deck did an amazing job. His first game really operating as well. So I just thought that the work that we put in and the preparation that we had showed up. And, again, just kind of pleased with everybody involved in the operation.
Jesse, the offensive line, I know you didn't have some starters in there, obviously, but it seemed like there were some good pockets for Tyler and then Joe, and et cetera, to throw from. How sort of pleased were you with what you saw? Yeah,
I was really pleased. Even in the downs where, you end up in maybe a get back on track or a third down where you're passing, I thought our offensive line did a really good job. It really helps when you can run the ball, then you can run the movements and you can run play actions, and it slows down the pass rush. So overall, just a really, really nice job by the offense in general of kind of keeping control of the game, which helps that. But then the offensive line in particular for playing as physical as they played.
Joe kind of moved up the depth chart after the injury. How do you think he handled that, and how impressed were you with?
Man, he clearly handled it pretty well. Major shout out to him. The guy made an unbelievable play at the end of the half. I thought that was actually a really good. I was watching it right from behind the quarterback, and liked the throw that he made. Trying to put it on the over route on the boot. I thought Seven made a heck of a play right there. And so for him to even bounce back from that, and come back in the second half and play really well, that's kind of what we've seen. He's kind of the more opportunities he's gotten over the last week, I think the better he's played. And it's a credit to him because he didn't get a ton of reps, and he's never gone in there and not known what to do, not known how to operate, not known how to run the huddle. And so major props to Joe.
So what do you kind of think of the rookie playmakers you had with, Jacoby and Hibner out there?
They did a great job. They came ready to play, and they just showed their talent today.
What impresses you about Jacoby when you throw the ball?
Man, you just put the ball in the cylinder, and he gonna make it. He gonna make the catch, and then he gonna bring it in, and And if he got room, he gonna try to make some more yards after that.
Tyler, you weren't out there a long time tonight, but what did you make of the reps that you got out there today?
Oh, it was good, just getting some live action, after, just going through camp, we're not getting touched too much. And no, it was just good to just be out there with the guys and just playing football.
Steve, what stood out about working with Danny Pinner?
Oh yeah, he's good. He take control of his assignments, and he head first in what he got to do.
Snoop, in terms of just sort of the game day operation with the new coaching staff, did it feel like everything went smoothly? I mean, did it feel like an operation that had been going for a while?
Yeah, it was good. Just letting be our first time that we did, because our stadium practice was down in Maryland this year, so just us coming in the stadium this first time, it was pretty smooth sailing.
Snoop, on one of your scrambles, Vanga pancaking, like mauled the guy. Did you get a chance to see that, and what did you think of Vanga?
I seen the replay. I wish I would have seen that out my peripheral so I could stay in the pocket a little bit longer. I thought he did a great job of cleaning it up right there.
Snoop, but how would you kind of describe the, kind of cadence of Declan Doyle, on the headset, communicating with you throughout this game?
Oh man, he very communicative through the headset, where we can't really respond like he would be in practice, but he did a great job up there, and I know he's just gonna get better at what he's doing.
Good.
Appreciate y'all.
Matt, when you obviously you had 5 catches, were you pleased not only with catching the ball but the variety of routes that you got to run?
Yeah, it was just an unbelievable experience being out there for the first time. Trying to make the most of it, make the most of every opportunity. But the coaching staff put me in a great position, and so just making the most of every opportunity, coming down with those catches, it was a great feeling.
Matt, being a local guy, did you have family, friends in attendance today? And if so, what did that mean to you?
Yeah, it meant a lot. My parents are here, my sister's here. I know a lot of people around from where I'm from are tuned in tonight. Actually, my high school football coach came. Some of my high school staff came. So just a really, really cool feeling because, they've all helped me, get to where I am today. So to kind of see that continued support really just means everything.
What did it mean to you just get that big catch right out of the gate? How did that kind of take me through that?
Yeah, that was awesome. You talk about getting through that first play, kind of feeling the contact and getting into the game and everything. That definitely helped me out a little bit. I kind of blacked out after the catch. Probably spent a little bit too much energy celebrating, getting hyped. But it was just great. I have no regrets on celebrating that one.
Matt, you said, I think it was this past week, that learning the new offense is like drinking from a fire hose. Now that you've gone through a new game, I know that you weren't showing the full offense, but now that you've just gone through a full game, do you feel like you're more up to speed now?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think, this week especially, just getting comfortable with the game plan, making sure, we know what looks we're going to get on from the defense, staying on top of our assignments. And I think that's a testament to the coaching staff, making sure we're all on the same page, making sure we're all on top of our assignments.
Obviously, most of the defensive starters didn't play, but for you guys as a group to do what you did really from start to finish, how impressive was that?
Oh, yeah, it was impressive for sure because, the guys that was out there, that was the first representation of the 2026 season. So for the defense to go out there and put on that performance, it's like, okay, if we do it these next 2 games, that's going to translate into the regular season. So,
what did you take away from your performance tonight? Was there anything that you feel like you could have, that you can build on from here that you want to see from the next game next week?
Yeah, had a couple tackles that came to me. I feel like I just made the plays that came to me, when my number was called. When Coach Jesse, when he made the call on defense, and I knew it was an opportunity for me to make the play, I just made the play. Whenever I get a chance to make a play, that's the whole thing about the NFL. When your number called, you got to make the play. So I feel like I made the plays today that came to me today.
It seems like today was a continuation of what you've been able to build throughout camp, of just showing up and throughout practice, throughout the game tonight. How validating is it to be able to deliver in a game atmosphere and build off what you've been able to do in practice?
Yeah, it's something that I, pride myself on, is just consistency. The same things that I do in practice, that I pride myself on doing it in the games. Because if you can do it in practice, then you should be able to do it under the lights. So, we got 2 more preseason games, and we still got some more weeks of camp and practice. So today was just, a stepping stone, but I still got a couple more weeks with camp and a long season ahead of me. So.
This is like a well-coached Eagles team, a talented Eagles team. To see the receivers that you go up against in practice on the daily have as much success as they did tonight, like, does it make you think maybe more highly of your own defense as well as the guys you're going up against in practice to see someone like Elijah, pop out for 60, 70 yards?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because, I played some of the receivers from the Eagles, like Elijah Moore. I played him in high school. We from the same place, but that's just a shout out. That's just a testament to our receivers. I feel like I go against the best receivers every day in practice. I'm going against LeJontay, Zay Flowers, Wade, and it's like I'm getting work. Like I'm getting better every day. So it kind of like, come out here and go against another team, you feel like it kind of slows down because, we got the best receivers in the NFL on the Ravens. So that's just a testament to them making me better, but we just making each other better. Iron sharpens iron.
and we'll probably talk about much more as well. But we're going to talk about Marcus Mariota suffering an MCL sprain and what that means for the Washington Commanders. Glenn, take us on for the first question for Miss Candy Waller.
I got a question. Can't hear this. Hey, with the Washington Commanders, with Marcus Mariota suffering an MCL, where does that leave the Commanders as far as backup? I know week one report says week one he should be ready, but where does that leave Jaden Daniels and the rest of the guys for practice?
I mean, he rocking out with Jaden and Sam Hartman and Ethan K.
That's what it is right now. That's what's happening.
That's it.
He's chilling with Special K. That's what's happening.
He's chilling with Special K. Yes.
All right. Okay.
That's what he said. That's the word on the street. So
with his team, I mean, I know it's he's scheduled to still be back for week one. But would this team think about bringing another veteran back up?
Today he said they were not. He said they were not going to do it. So
no, with him saying it's not going to do it, is it that means the sprain must be really simple? It's not a major sprain, MCL, because when we saw it the other day, it was a non-contact injury, right?
Yeah, which is scary.
Yeah, which is scary, non-contact injury. So that means if they're not going to bring anybody in, they really do believe that he can rehab or put a brace on and be back for week one. Hopefully, let's be honest. Hopefully, when I saw this, I'm like, okay, cool. Week one, cool. Jaden's going to start. Let's hope Jaden doesn't get hurt.
Yeah,
that's the first thing that came to my mind. Like,
sure.
Marcus can heal this up as long as he wants if Jaden doesn't stay hurt and Jaden keep playing football.
I do have a question to piggyback on that though for Candy. So with Mariota's injury, does it limit Jaden's play in the second preseason game because you're scared of having Jaden? Maybe you don't want to get Jaden hurt, and then not having Marcus as a security blanket.
Mm-hmm. So with that being said, Nikki Javala actually asked Coach Quinn about this, like just basically how does this affect their plans for Jaden in the preseason?
Yeah.
And so I'm just gonna read the transcript.
Okay.
Because I was like, so yeah, I'm gonna just read.
Yeah, go for it.
So he just said, I definitely thinking that was like a question on the top of my head. And I was staying in the block this week, really before we get into the preparation for that as far as the game goes. So not right now, it doesn't. Then he said, I recognize the question for sure, but right now we're kind of going into these 2 days as still like a training camp mode. That'll be Tuesday and Wednesday and big padded stuff. So that's, don't miss that, everybody. They'll be in pads Tuesday and Wednesday this week.
Okay.
So then he said they got a bunch of situations that, he's trying to work through. Then he's like 2 minutes, 4 minutes, goal line stuff. So this is kind of like our most heightened training camp block coming up. But we haven't gotten in terms of like planning for the game yet. That's what he said. I think he's doing what he always does. He's just reacting.
Yeah. I don't know. It sounds like sounds like I know. It sounds like the plans are changing. I know me. I won't lie. Like knowing that if Marcus is going to be limited, and it's probably going. I mean, luckily he's a backup, right? So ideally, you're not concerned with him being out there unless an injury happens to your number one.
Mm-hmm.
So and you don't want to have a situation where you don't have a capable backup for Jade if something does fluke, like even camp, like practices, like even practice, right? Like I'm sure like folks may be extra careful with Jaden, and it's because it's a trickle down effect. It really is. It really is a trickle down effect because you're going into a situation, you're going into practice probably differently, I would guess, and going into preseason thinking a little differently. I know I'm gonna put this to George. I know George has been like he's wanted Jaden to get a bunch of reps in preseason. Does the Mariota injury change your thought process of how Jaden should be handled in preseason?
Honestly, because of what happened last year, no, because we saw what happened last year when he barely played. And we've seen it with other young quarterbacks. And I understand that things have changed and that everybody's really fearing a Jayden Daniels injury, but an unprepared quarterback isn't much better than an injured one. And this is a new offense. And not only does Jayden need the time in this new offense, the other players need the time with Jayden. It's not going to do them much good to have a lot of preseason reps with Ethan Kaliakmanis and Sam Harton. Even though Ethan Kaliakmanis did well in the last game, and I
Sorry,
hope.
George. Stop. Hey,
Hello.
hey, Mom Waller, how you doing?
Hey, Mom Waller.
All right, sorry, George, to stop you mid-sentence. You was on fire.
For Jacqueline, for Mrs. Waller, for Mama Waller, we are definitely
All
stopping.
right, cool.
To say
All
hello
right,
to her.
all right. Go ahead, George.
No
Continue, my friend.
Even though I want to see Ethan Kaliakmanis come out after Jayden, because I want to see him get the opportunities with the backups that Hartman got in the last game. We've got to get Jayden ready, and we've got to get these other players who are, some of whom haven't played with Jayden before or haven't played with him since college, get them used to him playing with him too. So I know it's a little scary for everybody, and I understand that. But let's remember, Dan Quinn, right now, the prognosis is he's going to be ready for the regular season. So even though Washington's been kind of fudging it on these injuries a little bit, I'm going to trust that. And I'm going to say, please don't scale Jayden's participation in game 2 back just because we're fearing injury, because that's not the right thing for this year. It wasn't the right thing last year either.
I don't think. I mean, truth, I'm be real with you. I don't know if he's going to be ready for week 1. Mariota, to be honest. And what a meniscus sprain? What we're like 4? It's like a 4-week injury. So like, it's not a 2-week injury; it's a 4-week injury. Then you got to kind of be used to it. You're gonna have to do a whole type of rehab. Because a sprain is still it's a minor tear. That's what a sprain is. It's still a tear. It's a minor. It's a degree of a tear. So, I mean, 2 to 4 is nice, but you never with a meniscus injury, with an MCL, you never really know like how you're gonna bounce back. Some take longer than others, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? The good thing is he doesn't need surgery. But some take longer than others. You know what I mean? Like you gotta go rehab, you got the flexibility back, the knee is swollen. So that's a whole situation. And then you're gonna have to learn how to put you have to trust your knee. So I wouldn't say he would be back. I mean, ideally he should be back by week 1, but even if he's back by week 1, he may not have straight, great lateral movement or whatnot. He's gonna wear a brace. He should wear a brace. I'm saying this out of experience because I've blown my knee. I know about meniscus and whatnot, MCLs and whatnot. So I'm not sure he's gonna be totally ready. Like he could be 80%. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you want an 80% quarterback if anything goes down. So yeah, I don't. It's interesting. Like I'm with you, George. I think the work. I think we can't play scared football. I mean, it's gonna happen. Like injuries can happen anytime. Like we saw what happened with Tunsil, right? Like just a regular drill, and he got hurt. So it can happen. So I don't feel like you can get hurt in training camp, and you can get hurt in a preseason game. You can get hurt in a regular season. You can get hurt walking outside.